I want to welcome you for this year's Goal Setting Masterclass Series. It is time for us to say goodbye to 2025 and welcome 2026. And in case you're watching this not in 2025 or 2026, but any other time, I hope that the content that I'm going to share is still going to be valuable. Are you growth-centered? Do you love learning? Are you future-focused? If the answer is yes to one or any of these, then you're in the right place. My name is Wairimu, the Audacity Mentor. I'm a wife and mom, an encourager, Christian-based mom mindset and life mentor, and I really love teaching. I'm also the author of a book called Wired Weird. My book is an 𝐴CABA award-winning book. 𝐴CABA stands for African Christian Authors Book Award, and I would appreciate if you could support my work by buying a copy of my book. You can buy it for yourself or also a gift for somebody else, and especially anyone who desires to appreciate their story, who desires to discover who they are and who God created them to be. So look out for the link in the description below. At the end of this masterclass series, these are the objectives that I hope are going to be achieved. Number one, I hope that you're going to be inspired by the three ordinary people in the passage that I have chosen. My hope is that if you are a person who loves setting goals, that you're going to enjoy. If you have never set goals, that you're going to realize the importance of setting goals. And if you're apathetic to setting goals, that you're going to have a change of heart. And if nothing else, you're going to appreciate for the coming year that you can be able to set even one goal. I'll truly be happy. My hope is that you'll embrace a hopeful posture to pursue your life's vision from this year's theme and also the 10 takeaways that are inspired by the passage and the three people that we're going to learn about. My hope is that you're going to be ready to design and also compile your 2026 personal goals list, or whenever it is that you're watching this, that you'll still be able to use the concepts that we're going to share, come up with a goals list. And more than that, that you're going to be mentally prepared to crush your goals. When I'm working, I usually use Romans 12:2 as the inspiration for my work. It says, don't become like the people of this world. Instead, change the way you think. Then you will always be able to determine what God really wants, what is good, what is pleasing, what is perfect. And so, moms who are listening and other visitors, my desire is that as you're listening to this short but impactful masterclass series, that you're going to change the way you think. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to inspire you to change the way you're thinking, change your perspective, see things differently, but ultimately that whatever plan you're going to create is a plan that is God approved. Because the more you change the way you think in accordance to God's will, the more you will know what is good, what is pleasing, what is perfect, that is in line to God's path and plan for your life. So this masterclass is going to have 3 divisions. What we are doing now is just the intro part. It's just me introducing myself to you and helping you understand how it is we are going to carry out this masterclass series. So what we are doing right now is getting settled and doing the preparation that's necessary so that when we are doing part 1 and 2, you are already prepared in advance, all right? So welcome to the intro part. When I'm working with moms, this is the one statement that I continuously repeat. If you've watched any of my other videos as well in this channel, I also say the same thing, that the life that you desire is truly within reach. And I hope that as we are changing the way we think, one of the changes that we're going to start with is putting aside all the beliefs that we have about the life that we want in terms of not being able to reach it. And I want you to come hopeful. I want you to know that the life that you desire is within reach. Allow me to encourage you through this masterclass series and change and tweak part of your belief system so that as we are going into a new year, a new goal setting season, a new goal crushing season, that you'll continuously remind yourself that the work you're doing is not in vain because the life you desire is truly within reach. So let's get started. There's this quote that has been attributed to Abraham Lincoln, and it says, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. I want you to imagine waking up one morning and looking through the window and just seeing it's cold. There's a lot of fog. You can't even see all the trees, very cold. What's your immediate thought? What comes to mind? What's your first immediate action? And what's your dream beyond seeing the tree? Maybe you decide, I want to just go back to sleep. I want to cover myself and I want to sleep. Or could you be like me who loves cold weather, rainy weather, and that's when you're most productive and you want to work as it is cold outside, drinking a cup of coffee? Could that be you? Maybe you want to do all. You want to be cozy and you want to work at the same time. Take your mismatched pair of warm socks, wear it in front of a fire. Let's bring all that together. It is cold outside. You don't want to go to the office. You don't want to go to the place of work. You don't want to step out of the house. But you have this vision. Now that you've seen the cold outside, you have this vision in your head that I'll wear my warm socks, I'll pick my computer, I'll brew some coffee, or maybe if I'm not working during the breaks, I can take a wonderful book that I can read as I warm myself with the fire. Why? Because it's very, very cold. I want you to have this vision in mind as I'm talking to you about this concept that's coming next. You see, goal setting is a here to there type of a process. I'm here, but I want to be there. And so when you're thinking about that, there's always your current position. There's always what is real for you at that point. And then there's the desired position. So when I'm working with moms and when we are setting our goals, we always start from where am I at right now? Where do I desire to be? And then you choose, am I setting goals for a month? Am I setting goals for 90 days? Am I setting goals for a year, for 3 years, for 5 years? The desired life position, you get to choose what you're planning for. And that in between your current position and desired position is a gap. And what happens is our goals list and the action plan to achieve those goals, it's what fills the gap, all right? So we started with very cold weather. It's outside. You're almost feeling the cold from the inside. That's our current positioning, isn't it? That is where we are at right now. And our mind is telling us, you're not going to go out in that cold, beat the cold to go to work. Maybe you can work from home. And you can work from home when you're feeling very warm and you'll be productive. So you also have a vision that the way I'm going to beat the cold, the way I'm going to be productive is wearing my warm socks, drinking my coffee, maybe having a book for the break and having a good fire, especially the fire. And so there's a picture that you have of your desired life position. And I want you to think about that when you're setting your goals for 2026. There's where you are at right now. Maybe you do not have hope right now. Maybe you're in a lot of debt right now. What's your current life position? Maybe you're hopeful for 2026 and you can almost see the picture of all the things that you're going to achieve. That's your current life position. And then you also have the desired life position of how, if you put in the work, if the resources are available, if you are able to have the support system that is right, that you'll be able to achieve what you desire in the end. Now, when we were talking about the quote by Abraham Lincoln, he said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So remember in our example, we need a hot fire. At the end of the day, I can have my book, I can have my computer, I can have my warm socks, but it is still cold outside. What will be the game changer is if I have that hot fire. And so what we are going to do is create a gap filler plan for us to actualize our goal. So we start by finding the tree, right? And Abraham Lincoln has told us, spend 4 out of the 6 hours sharpening the axe. And we are going to do that. And then now that our axe is sharp, we cut down the tree for firewood. And what we've been able to chop up, we put it neatly, and then we carry what we need into the house and start the fire. And our vision will have been realized. So what's a goal setting process? So goal setting is a powerful process of thinking about one's desired ideal future. We've seen that. And then you map it into achievable, actionable plans. And then you stay committed and motivated to turning the vision of this future into reality. So remember, we started with, I just want to keep warm with my mismatched socks in front of a fire, taking coffee, reading a book, or working. So we started with a vision of what it is that we want, and then we created our plan, and then we actualized our plan. What I want you to note when it comes to goal setting, it's so important to stay committed and motivated to turning that vision that you have into reality. So if we are to give a simplified way to understand goal setting, it involves thinking, mapping, being committed, and also achieving the goals that we have set. So now you know why we have a goal setting masterclass series. We want to be able to think, we want to be able to map, and then throughout the year, we want to stay committed and motivated to achieving the goals that we have set. So where do we start? Like I said, this masterclass is divided into 3. What we are doing now and we are about to finish is just the preparation. And then the hard work is going to be where we are going to do the passage and the people. This is the groundwork. And then we are going to finish the series together on Thursday, 27th of November with part 2, which is the positioning part of the masterclass series. So allow me to take you through some of the steps so that you're fully prepared for part 1 and 2 of the masterclass series. So as we begin each session, make sure that you have a cup of tea, coffee, or water to keep you hydrated so that you're able to concentrate on each session. I encourage you to have a notebook. There's something that you're going to hear that could be new or old, but said differently. Have a notebook, write as many notes as possible, and then make sure that your gadgets are charged. Whether you need data or electricity units, please top those up before each session, and then come with an open mind to learn, to relearn, to unlearn, because we never stop learning. Remember at the beginning, I said, are you growth-centered? Are you one who loves learning? Because if that is you, even if something is said that you already know, the fact that it is said by many people means it is something that is important. It's something that is being emphasized for you to do. Maybe you need to unlearn some things that you've done in a certain way, or that's why things have not been succeeding. I hope that you can share with me some of those things that you never knew or you've heard differently. I would really love that. And then don't be too distracted. And note I write not too much, because I know we are mothers and we'll have our children and family members, people who are pulling us from all sides who desire our time. But if you can, as much as is possible, don't be distracted. If we've never worked with you at all, I use an encouraging tone. I also use a basics to mastery approach, which is why I do not assume that everybody knows what it is I'm teaching about. So you'll notice some things are things you already know because you learned that a long time ago. I'll also be appearing on and off camera. Like for this session, I'm appearing off camera, but you'll notice maybe in the part 2, I will show up on camera. But for now, don't worry, as long as you're understanding and you're following what it is that I'm saying, don't worry, it is intentional. I've also created easy to follow PowerPoint slides so that you can be able to pause where you need to. We'll have a lot of reflection questions, and you're going to notice that. So in case you do not hear the question I've asked, you can pause, write it down in your booklet, and then be able to take time to answer those questions. So I'm going to use Bible verses as well and some relevant quotes. We already started with one of the quotes, and I already shared a Bible verse at the beginning. So you're going to notice more of that as we go on. And also, I'm going to ask you to take some follow-up actions. So for those who do not like taking a lot of notes, but you still want to listen, you still want to be able to glean and gain from what it is that I have to say, consider taking these subtitles and titles so that you at least have a summary of the 3-part masterclass series. You can write down key passage, and once I mention it, you fill in the blank. When I read for you the context passage, that you're also going to write that down. The key characters, when we finish in part 1, that you can write those down. And then by the end of part 3, we'll have covered about 10 lessons that you'll be able to at least write them all in summary, that at a glance, you'll be able to say, during Wairimu's masterclass series, this was a passage, this was the context passage, these were the characters, these were the lessons that she taught. And in the course of teaching, these were the aha moments the light bulb moments that I got. I've never had that before, or wow, I've had that differently. That you have a portion for aha, things that stand out for you, things you do not want to forget in the course of the year. And then lastly, but most importantly, that you'll have a place where you summarize your key goals for the year. And I usually say, out of those goals that you're going to set, narrow them down into 3. What are the 3 goals I need to be committed to, I need to stay motivated to achieve throughout the year? And out of the 3, choose one, so that even if all things go wrong, even if you do not succeed much, there's this one goal that will represent success for you in a particular year. For us, we are setting for 2026. Like I said, we're going to use Bible passages. One is going to be a core, which means that the lessons we are using, the people who are inspiring us are coming from that passage, but I'm going to give you context so that we appreciate what it is that they are teaching us from that core passage. And then I'm going to guide you on a theme for 2026. So what I've done is that every year that I have taught goal setting, as we are using the passages, we always have a theme. And I hope that you're going to stay till the end, so that then you have a theme that you can constantly refer to and remind yourself that this year, this is what we are working towards. This is what we are believing for ourselves. For example, in 2025, this has been our theme: relentless pursuit of hope. So last year, at a time like now, I was unveiling this particular theme, and we used a Bible passage, and we had Bible characters as well, and their lives and the story that we read. This is the theme that was inspired by their lives: relentless pursuit of hope. And so every time we met for accountability meetings, we kept reminding ourselves, this is the year that we are going to relentlessly pursue hope. And the reason is, as a country in 2024, most of us were coming from a place of restlessness, almost hopelessness. And we said, assume all things remain the way they were in 2024. We are still going to relentlessly pursue hope. We are not going to stay in that place stuck where there is no hope. And so a lot of us in 2025 were able to achieve bigger things because we switched our thinking from a place of feeling hopeless, feeling discouraged, and we encouraged ourselves to stay in that place of hope. So like I said, we're going to have 10 lessons. And the way I write my lessons when I'm teaching is hashtag and then the lesson. For example, last year, we had this one as our very first lesson, that your poster to relentlessly pursue your goals in 2025 must be, and this was our first takeaway or our first lesson, you must be eagerly expectant. And so in the list of summary that I told you, when you're writing your takeaways, this is how you're going to find the lessons. Your posture to relentlessly pursue your goals in 2025 must be eagerly expectant. So I write my takeaways in that fashion. So every time you'll see a hashtag and then the lesson, that's what you need to take away. All right. So when you're setting goals, as coaches and mentors, we always say a place to begin is by asking the right question. And so what I'll do is I'll continuously ask you questions. For example, our very first reflection question was, am I eagerly expectant? And so we had to pause and reflect. And for me, pausing and reflecting is the thinking part of goal setting. And once you think, jot down. Don't just think and retain it in your head. You need to take the information that is in your head and write it down. Why? You'll come back a year after and look back at what was bothering you, or what you were expectant about, or how you were feeling about the year that is coming. And you'll reflect and see, wow, I was able to exceed expectations. I was able to remind myself to be eagerly expectant. Or if I was not eagerly expectant, I psyched myself, or I found ways to be encouraged, so that then I pick up that expectation to go through the year. So as we'll be ending the Masterclass series, I'll give you some categories of life areas that you can consider setting goals based on what we'll have already learned. And from those life area categories, you'll be able to come up with your goals list. So I want to do an experiment. I want to see if you've learned something. I want to ask you this pause and reflect question. Now that we're going into 2026, I want you to pause, I want you to reflect, and I want you to write your answer in your notebook. Am I eagerly expectant for 2026? Am I eagerly expectant for 2026? Be honest with yourself. Reflection demands that you're honest with yourself. So once you've written that down, you can unpause and we can continue. I hope you've been able to finish that pause and reflect question and written the answers down. So we have now finished our intro part. I hope you feel ready for part 1 and part 2. You'll be coming prepared with all the tools that you need. No distractions so that you can do pause and reflect. We've only done one question and there are so many coming up, and especially in part 1. So I hope you'll set aside time, quiet place, very reflective, and you'll be able to take notes. If you can have just one place where you're following the Masterclass series, even better. So coming up next will be the groundwork, and this is going to be inspired by a passage from the Bible and 3 characters that we are going to concentrate on. So remember, the life you desire is within reach. And if we want to succeed, then we need to sharpen the axe. And sharpening the axe takes a lot of time. And this Masterclass series is that part of sharpening the axe so that the result that we are looking for in the end will be easily achieved. So let's do this.